Hello and welcome to another edition of the Rake Reflects. This time we're going to play Pan Shadow. I think Morgan Le Fay and Gwen are kind of close in power level to Pan Shadow. Decided to take Pan Shadow this time. And here we go ahead and grab a Wizard's Familiar and do a free roll, and we see a pair of princes along with a economy spell, so we can go ahead and grab that. And I do want to note, I think our opponent made a mistake here that so what happens is we attack into their mouse and not their puff puff, which means their puff puff doesn't get puffed up. So it lets them win this round, but for future rounds it makes their puff puff smaller. So I think that's a mistake on their part, but fine. And here we just do as expected, take the crafty, lock the pair of lonely princes in the shop. And lose this combat, no big deal. And here I made a little bit of a mistake. This is obviously good news for us. What I should do is take the buy the Cinderella and buy the two lonely princes. Instead, I decided to try and roll the dice. I got a little caught up in getting spell triggers and all that stuff, but like if we just bought that, we would have had. It would have been one Wizard Familiar would have been a 3/3. The other would be the Cinderella, and we'd have two Frog Princes this round. So that would be obviously a lot stronger for this round, and basically better going forward. We could lock the other Wizard Familiar in the shop. There's some incentive to not do it. And you see here we get punished if these were. We would have been able to crack that egg. Couldn't do it. Here we get to correct our mistake and actually buy both of these questing characters. Go ahead and sell the crafty, get a little bit extra stats on the brave princess, so she increases the odds that she will slay. I almost said guarantee, but there are no guarantees in Storybook Brawl unless you're playing Puff Puffs, and then I guarantee you're not going to win. Hot take alert. All right. Anyway, we get into combat and we get a slay, and opponent's not too strong. We're able to take them down. Not too shabby here. And thought about looking at this pair of Spellweavers is a little interesting, but I decided to pass. I don't want to commit too much to spells, especially on Pan Shadow. A lot of times with Pan Shadow, once you hit level 4 or 5, your gold gets pretty awkward to use, and a lot of times, I guess there's a kind of argument to it, but just your spells become a little bit less reliable here. So here we're able to take the Luna's Grace, trigger our Cinderella, pump up the Brave Princess, get her closer to a slay. Position her in slot 5, hoping for a double slay. It's not likely, but it's worth a shot. At this point, she'll probably get at least one slay in the back row there. And as it turns out, we do actually get the double slay, which is fantastic. Here, obviously, we locked the shop for... so also, I think it's a little too early for the treasure map here. We locked the shop so we could triple our Frog Prince. And obviously we're so close to getting a full suite of treasures that the skipping stone makes a ton of sense here. And we can go ahead and kiss the Brave Princess and get her going there. Not the best thing to see, like particularly like an upgraded Lightning Dragon is basically the same as a single Lightning Dragon. A few more stats. Would have loved to see it upgrade into, a Nutcracker or an Arthur or something. That would have been super mega fantastic, but them's the breaks. And we get into here, and opponent's not too strong. We can take them out. No problem. I guess it was pretty close, but we were successful. And here, thought about getting this this court wizard, very strong with the royals we have. We don't have a strong commitment to royals yet, And then here, we're going to go ahead and take this Fancy Pants Friendly Spirit. And these aren't the best treasures. There's a, like, if I didn't have Skipping Stone, I think I would have just skipped this treasure and gotten the 2 gold. But as is, we can do that. And unfortunately here, I'm looking at the Lady of the Lake I would like to pick up. But unfortunately, we have to play down a character, and I'm not willing to do that at this point. Very possibly could have done it, especially against a trophy hunter. Usually Lady of the Lake's pretty strong against trophy hunter if you can prevent that initial slay, and obviously I love to put Lady of the Lake behind a lightning dragon so they can have a chance of knocking out 2 back row characters instead of usually just 1. But we were able to take down the trophy hunter without 2 problem, and even got a slay off the polywoggle that we put in just because it was good, basically, and we got lucky there. And I was thinking about casting the spell, decided against it. Do still want to keep casting spells, but we're looking for those range supports with these double friendly spirits up front. I was also thinking about grabbing the there's a couple different things here. Like the Fairy Godmother's pretty strong. We turned all our animals good, so that would be a reasonable course of action to take. But we decided to go ahead and spend our gold right there on the Time Flies, which could potentially have a lot of value if we end up with a good boy build and we keep our crown to turn all of our animals good. And here I think I go ahead and Fancy Pants up this Lady of the Lake. I maybe could have done that a little bit earlier. Veered away from it. And I stayed away from it though. Okay. And we're going to Fancy Pants up again this lovely Friendly Spirit, which is getting amazing. And we can go ahead and take the Skipping Stones, skip us most of the way through level 4. And we can go ahead and sell out and pick up those 2 range supports now. And set that up pretty nicely. So now we're up to level 5, almost to level 6, where we really want to start spending our gold. And these fight's eminently winnable. Looking at how to get the lance, can't get an easy pop off of it. Looking at the shoulder fairies, it's just a good chunk of stats right now. But we're gonna take this, and here I decided there's a case you can make for all of these. I go with the Helm of the Gosling. That's going to pump up one of our range supports in the back at the moment. Also kept the Fancy Pants on, just because I think we're going to be replacing the crown fairly soon. I guess we don't have a great line immediately, but the crown isn't doing that much work for us right now. So, and if we hit level 6 next turn, if we Fancy Pants up a yeah, by the way, I'm trying not to criticize my opponents, but the big soul tech in the back row against my Lightning Dragon, not ideal. Anyway, and looking through here, and okay, we can Fancy Pants up a Empress P, and she'll be able to get a lot of stats going for our range supports back there, and decide to go ahead and sell out for this Green Knight. Just use our gold kind of efficiently, set us up for a little bit stronger things. Potentially, you know, there's a way where just getting that huge butt on a Empress P is going to make a big difference going forward. And then we're easily able to dispose of the Celestial Tiger here. And okay, we'll buy out these pair of supports here. And keep rolling. Okay, I think we're in the mood for a wombat triple if we can get there. And we can just go ahead and sell out. This time flies isn't going to do anything for us, but we also are not looking for the Nean. I think it would have been better to hold on to the Nean so we could True Love's Kiss it into something real spicy if that situation were to occur, but not to be. And we go ahead and take down the Fates pretty easily here. And we can go ahead and get rid of these fancy pants and grab the monster. I mean, whatever. Obviously, it's free. It's from our Gloves of Thieving. But is it possible we could make a pivot into that? It's a little tricky here. And here I decide to just go ahead and there's an argument for taking the Grumblegore. The Broomhilda now. I wanted to take the Soltec. Just like it feels like we're going to be fairly backline focused, and having a way to protect that is going to be quite important, I think. Yeah, you see the Sunflies just summons and does nothing for us, but the Wombat's coming out with 3 big pigs. That does a good chunk for us. And we are actually able to win that and grab 1 weirding from them. And none of these treasures are a real upgrade for us. We will take a free Grumblegore, or free Broomhilda now. Sorry. This is like a little bit of an Evil Tree starter kit. We thought about that shop for a minute, but decided against it. We thought about that Doom Breath, and here's finally where we're trying to get to, which is this good boy. And position this way. So it is going to catch the Helm of the Ugly Gosling buff and become a 1745, which is a little bit awkward in that it doesn't necessarily die that easily, and you kind of want it to die, but also when it does die, it's just very big stats. We're able to go ahead and knock out that, and we are in the finals. And decided we're going to cycle out the free one there and just kind of rearrange things to get the most attack possible on our units. Could have cast double lightning bolt there. Decided against it. And here this horn is going to be quite good for us. And I get, I'm a little bit concerned, like they could have developed into a good boy comp themselves. And so in that case, the Gloves of Thieving would be fantastic. Doesn't look like that's the route they're going down. So a little bit sad to leave the gloves in for, what do we grab here, a Lancelot or something? No, we grab a spell book. Yeah, that's not where we're trying to get our comp. So we're here, we're looking for, well, okay, we're not going to turn down Double Pigo. Double Pigo should win us this fight, almost assuredly. We are already 98% last round without it, and now with it, that should be pretty much a guarantee. And looking at the second Empress P, it could be all right, but it felt maybe a little bit more win more, and I didn't want to float a gold. So go ahead and pop in to the fight, and we are getting double pigoed back. Unfortunately, they pigo our Broomhilda, which basically takes away all the attack off of our good boys. And even so, we're still winning this fight until they scam our big range unit. It was like a 60-300, which would have been enough to take down the fight on its own. Didn't happen. We'll keep going here. Now I think it's time to get out of the Gloves of Thieving with this Phoenix Feather and resummon our some big baddie. That seems fun. There's the lance that we pick up from our gloves one last time, which fits on the board, but it's something we are looking to replace. And yeah, it's not seeing anything super ideal at this point with the gold we have left. I do decide to cast the Merlin's Test, which will pump up this good boy for us, and the good boy will pump up everything else, as long as it can die. Most of their front row it'll attack into and die. But it does take us a little bit here. And it actually died after the first good boy died. It was, yeah. Their opponent's very good at casting Pigo. We'll say that. They're not good enough to win this round, but they're staying alive when it feels like they should be dead by now. So it goes. And okay, another good boy. I mean, hard to say no to that. And so this evil twin we're looking at, we could technically sell out and then play down a unit to cast it. And because we have the wand, we will cast it twice and get an upgraded bad boy. But that didn't super appeal to me at the moment. And then here, we'll go ahead and lock, and we'll take that line next time, and we'll be able to replace the wand with another level 6 treasure that will hopefully be more relevant in combat if we lose this round. And then we get into the combat, and the good boy dies right away and resummons himself, and we've just got big numbers. Their spellbook doesn't bail them out with any scam, and we are super golden to go ahead and take down this crown. So that was a fun game. I don't usually play Pan Shadow that much, but with games like that, I'm coming around to it. It's obviously a very powerful effect. I tend to get a little bit maybe too caught up in like trying to chase tripling. I like to triple my 2s and my 3s a lot, so that's why I veer away from Pan Shadow a little bit. But enough of that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and until next time, may all your shops be gorgeous and your hits be surgical.